Susan Aronstein. I have a PhD in medieval and comparative literature from Stanford University, and then I have a MSc in medieval languages in Welsh and French, Middle Welsh and Old French from University of Edinburgh in Scotland. I'm currently the interim director. I also teach in the program. As interim director, I just do basically everything that needs to be done, from course scheduling to recruiting faculty to recruiting students, to trying to figure out how best to serve the students in terms of community service, advising senior projects. Pretty much you name it, the director does it. I also teach in a course or two a year. Been interim director for a year and a half at the end of this spring. And then I was an associate director for a year and a half before that. Since 1987, I've been in the program a very long time. Because I think the honors program has classes that encourage students to think outside of boxes. So for instance, I'll just go with the class I teach. In the Disney class, it's an American studies, media studies, cultural studies class. We do a lot of history, we do a lot of film. We think about public history and public geography. We think about theme parks and amusement parks. But if you think about what our students do for their final projects, for the final project, I've had everything from a student who designed a dark ride for Frozen, and that went from looking at the architecture and the design principles to thinking about how Disney rides work, what kinds of scenes are included in them, what scenes would he include in them, how would the narrative work of the ride as someone's riding through it, what would the cars look like. So he's an architectural engineering major. I've had students, again engineering majors, do intense research into the design of the World of Color at California Adventure. I've had health science students look at first aid and health services, and in the park, particularly at the moment they went, which was swine flu season, or swine flu years. I've had teaching units, I've had choreographed dances. I think everyone who is in the honors program is encouraged in whatever class they are to think about how their knowledge in their major can extend to that class. So we really try to think across boundaries. I think it is the classes. I think the classes are innovative, they're interesting, they're taught from faculty passion. And so almost every class in this program is something a faculty member really wanted to teach but couldn't teach within the confines of their major or their department. And I think that's what we offer our students, is these small, interesting, innovative classes that allow them to explore beyond and outside of their majors. Because I love it. That's not a very specific answer. Because I like to share materials. I actually like to learn from students, and one of the great things about the honors program is I never teach a class that I don't learn something from somebody who knows something I don't. I teach because I'm excited about my subjects. I teach because I like students. So a variety of reasons, but really I teach because that's what I want to do. I have a dream job. I've had several teachers that influenced me, but probably my biggest influence was the woman who was my undergraduate advisor. And I can remember, I guess it goes to the why do you teach question, I can remember maybe my first class in college, second or third at the most, looking at her lecturing and thinking, she reads books and talks about them, and somebody pays her to do it. I want that job. And so from that moment, but also I took a lot of classes from her. She was enthusiastic, passionate, a deep and interesting thinker, knew so much, and I would say that she was probably my most influential teacher. There have been others, but if it was the one person that got me where I am today, both in terms of inspiration and then just teaching me the skills I needed to get into graduate school, it would be her.